Let's turn now to NBC political analyst and former Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill and Rich Lowry, editor of the conservative National Review. They watched the debate along with us last night. Good morning to both of you. We were up late and now we're up early together. And before we get into the usual analysis we would do here, who won, who lost, who benefits, who doesn't, can we just take a moment and talk about what unfolded? Rich, I mean, we know that politics is tough, okay? It's not going to be easy. It's not the country club. But what we saw last night was not that. It wasn't just a couple of tough barbs going back and forth. Do you agree?
Yeah, I love fiery debates. I love feisty debates. And this was something different. This was a presidential debate that was not worthy of the worst sort of debate you'd see on cable news. And Joe Biden did his share of interrupting, but it was Donald Trump. Obviously, he was the main offender. Now, he had a strategy to that. He was hoping to make Biden crack, to have some awful senior moment, to lose his temper. And Biden was flustered at times, but he didn't buckle. And that's why I think the president's approach was wrong from the outset and didn't work as a strategic matter.
Claire, what about you? What did you think about what you saw?
I was shocked and saddened. One candidate came to debate. The other came to take a meat cleaver to one of our most cherished traditions in this country, the presidential debate. I don't think it's fair to say that there were both candidates made this a debacle. It was Donald Trump who decided that this wasn't going to be a debate. He was a bully and he was cruel. And it was not an exchange of ideas. It did not lift anyone up. They may have two more debates. The question is, Savannah, will anybody watch them?
I think it'll be interesting. We'll see what the ratings were. The first debate in 2016 got 84 million viewers. We'll see if it got a big number last night, and whether that affects what goes on in the campaign. People are voting right now, Rich. I mean, the mail-in voting is happening. In-person voting is happening. How do you think this plays out?
I'm not sure it makes a big difference one way or the other. I think it's probably a lot of Trump-era events. It feels extremely intense at the moment. And then a week from now, will anyone really remember anything that was said or done in this debate? I think it's unlikely. Now, I think a status quo debate helps Joe Biden. He clearly is at least a step ahead in this election as the president who needs a trajectory to change. And his core supporters are going to like a lot of what they saw last night, but a slim number of voters who are on the fence, I find it really hard to believe they saw anything that would attract them, bring them over to the president.
There's no question, Claire, that the president, interrupted a lot, sort of set the tone of the debate early on. But let's be honest, do you consider this to be a tour de force performance by Joe Biden? I mean, but for the president's antics, we might be talking about a different story. Joe Biden wasn't exactly the strongest, clearest version of himself we've ever seen.
Well, I think in light of what he had to put up with, he was calm and cogent. He talked about uniting the country. I think he was very clear about the failures of the president around COVID and his attempt to take away health care from millions of Americans. So I think in light of what he had to put up with, he did really well. And I disagree with Rich on one thing. There is one thing that will go down in history that will stand out about this debate forever. And that was a president of the United States was given an opportunity to clearly condemn white supremacy, and he took a pass.
What do you say about that, Rich? What do you think about that moment?
Well, I think that entire exchange was terrible. I think it's absurd and wrong that the president didn't just denounce the Proud Boys and telling them to stand by. Obviously, it's not a denunciation, but he's right that overwhelmingly the violence we've seen on the streets has been a phenomenon of the left, and Joe Biden refused to denounce Antifa. He said they're an idea, not an organization, which is completely false. So I don't think either of them covered themselves in glory during that exchange.
If you were advising the campaign, Claire, would you say keep debating, keep going? This is a tradition that should go on for the next couple of weeks?
I think they're in a tough spot. I don't think they didn't lose anything last night. We can debate whether or not, Donald Trump lost voters last night, but he certainly didn't gain any voters last night. So I think they probably need to take the position that they're willing to debate any time. But I do think the Commission on Presidential Debates has to look in the mirror and decide, do you have a kill button? if the president is going to do what he did last night over and over again, seems to me somebody's got to turn off the microphone to allow the speaker to actually make a point without him bullying and jumping in with outrageous lies.
I'll let you, Rich, have the last word. Do you think there should be more debates? Do you think there will be?
I think there will be. It looks as though the Biden people are calculating, one, that the next debate's a town hall format, so it'll be harder for this kind of meltdown to happen. And two, it's a big national stage, so why not use it? I would think, I agree on the commission, during someone else's time, the mic of the president or Joe Biden should be off to at least limit some of this crosstalk, which is productive to no one.
All right, Claire and Rich, or maybe a red buzzer, you know, or a timeout chair. That's what I do with my kids. All right.
Or
guys.
a net.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks. Appreciate it. Get a nap.
Thank you.
Okay.